come in long after I've started this to watch it a second, to watch it after it's been uploaded. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It is, what time is it? 7 a.m. Come here, you. First of the year, first of the month. Now we're pretty far away from the first of the year, aren't we? I get my gay pink pillow. Oh, I got it, Hypermart. There's a thing about that when you do the. How do you like that? That's it, honey. My little Shih Tzu. And no, she is no longer a puppy. Well, she's only 8 months, maybe. She won't get much bigger. We're a teeny weeny little bit. So mostly fill out after 8 months. Dog's pretty much full size. And she is definitely a Shih Tzu. Probably a bad day to go live, but maybe I'm gonna start doing first of the month live. Update on John. He's in very bad shape. Everything with his head is healing. Does seem to have some cognitive ability, but not very much. I'm very sad. I want my friend back. John had every advantage here. He wasn't wealthy, but he had enough money. Had a very good girlfriend. Has a very good girlfriend, excuse me. She hasn't left his side. Literally sleeping on about a 1-inch thick mattress on a piece of wood. Has not left his side, except for she had to have her hand worked on a little, so we relieved her so she could go get her hand worked on. She was injured in the accident as well, but her head was fine. John's helmet was the culprit. I have yet to be able to find the helmet. I have gone to the police a couple times trying to find the helmet. Nobody knows where it is. Although it might be locked inside of John's toolbox or storage box on the back of his bike. I didn't ask for the key. I want to get pictures of that helmet. I think it's the reason he's in. It is the reason that he is where he is. I hate the way my face looks without teeth. At any rate, everybody here is on pins and needles praying they sign this stupid bill for the debt ceiling. There's lots of people like me. Hello? Life is good. You should get a picture, man. Just having the L is kind of boring. It's not hard to put a picture on. And it can be random. I just took a picture of my bag of lobster crackers this morning, which these are quite good. Probably not good for me, but they're good, and a bag costs less than 20 pesos. We just had the part of the building fall off the building this last night. Some tile fell off the building in the rain. Pretty large piece that fell off right in front of the walkway in the front. Smashed all over. Like, what's that noise? And I went out there a little while later, and there's this big piece of tile about 2 foot by 1.5 foot, that 1/4 inch thick, that was concreted to the front of the building, and it fell from the second floor balcony down and smashed on the ground. Oh, I'm sure that the landlord will say I went up there and pried it off, because that's what they do here. Because I didn't like it, I didn't want it there, so I pried it off. Trust me, it'll come out. You watch. I've been accused of ripping my toilets loose of the floor so it could be bolted down when they weren't glued down, and I asked for bolts, because here they don't bolt them down, but in America we do, so I asked for bolts. Not knowing they glued them down, but masonry, whatever masonry they did not hold. And because it did not hold, the damn toilet almost flipped over with me on it when I reached over too far to get some toilet paper. That's another thing you'll like here. The toilet paper is real flimsy. It's soft, but you gotta use a lot more of it than you would in America. Yeah, have a good helmet. I don't know if you can buy a good quality one here. I haven't researched that, where you go to buy them, other than seeing them at the dealers. I've had not picked one up and looked at it, and I actually went face first into a tree on a 4-wheeler many years ago. I was driving a YFZ 450, which, if you know anything about 4-wheelers, it's a very fast 4-wheeler. I just got it, went up to the mountains. It was spring. All these trees had a bad winter, and all these trees are down across the trails. And I was pissed. I couldn't open up the throttle anywhere. I had a super fast bike, and I couldn't do anything about it. And after coming through the same trail earlier that day, I decided, this time I could just kind of look up real quick each time. Well, that worked great till I had 2 trees, one next to the other, and my face went right into. I looked up, and there's a log of a tree. The tree trunk is literally 4 inches in front of my eyeballs. And needless to say, you don't have time to tip your head down when it's 4 inches in front of your eyeballs. And it cleaned me off that bike like the Jolly Green Giant punt kicked me. And actually pulled all the muscles in the back of my leg. I could have walked for a week. But my head was fine. I had a little cut right here from the helmet. I felt the helmet come back, push against my face. And the goggles, a motocross helmet, and I think I got a little cut like right here, a tiny one, which is the same thing I see on John's helmet. On his face, he had a little cut on his head. I don't remember where it was, but I remember seeing a cut on his face. But the pressure on his brain increased, and I don't know whether they neglected to do where they take the pressure off, or whether it was already too late. I don't know. They were talking about it like 2 days in, which is when I found out he had actually been in a crash. So I don't know. It is a good hospital. Suleiman is a good hospital. I don't really know that much details about what they're doing for him. All I know is I want my friend back. I can't seem to go 10 minutes without thinking about him some way or another. Even just minor little things. They remind me of him. Keep expecting him to walk in the door. And each day, but I've gone to the hospital to just see him in that bed. And I know it's going to be years before he's possibly out of it on a regular basis. Oh, can't even see they didn't come up. Good morning, Howard Berry. All moon rains here. I bought carbon fiber Harley Davidson. Have a half helmet. I don't know if I'd want to wear just a half helmet. A lot of people here wear the little, basically a bicycle helmet. But for me, I'm contemplating buying one, just driving the Chariot or the other trike because of John's wreck. But I'm a lot safer on them than he was on that. And I don't drive fast anymore. I did it first. That's one thing. You'll be tempted as hell to do that here. It's a blast. And speeds here are, fast speeds here are slow speeds in America. Very slow. If you're doing more than 40, you're hauling ass. There's just too much stuff that comes at you, and you won't even see it coming. It's almost like somebody beam people down in front of you, like out of nowhere. These people appear. Either somebody walking, a dog, a goat, cows. So far, that's the only animals I've seen, other than birds. But people just come out of nowhere, either on a bike or not. I mean, I pulled up and I look everywhere, and I'm going to make a right-hand turn, and all of a sudden there's a guy sitting right there on a 4-lane highway, and he's coming in to make a left turn, but he's come all the way over on the shoulder. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't you know what it's like here. I kind of like being out here in Pecan. Traffic isn't anywhere near anything like what's in Dumagetti. It gets, as soon as you start getting within, I guess about a mile or so of Robinson is going that way, it starts just getting really thick. And it'll be like that all through Dumagetti. There's some roads, there's little tricks to get around some of it, but and even using these side streets, same problem. People come out of nowhere. People come down the wrong side of the road. I drive on the wrong side of the road from time to time if it's appropriate. Sometimes it's actually safer to go on the right-hand side of the road. Only difference with me is when I come up to make a left turn, I'm watching for that person popping out, that's coming up and doesn't expect to find me there. Yeah, I drove a tractor trailer. I had a CDO. Driving here is like playing friggin' asteroids. I don't know if you know the video game, but look up asteroids. You can get it on your cell phone. It's an old video game, very old. One of the first ones. And literally here, it's like playing asteroids, but asteroids on steroids. Even the most minor thing can go south super quick. I see so many incidents. Like just the other day, we're going down the road. There's 2 pedicabs and a truck parked on the side of the road facing me. A pedicab coming up the road behind the truck. Another pedicab going south. The truck, all of a sudden, it was enough. He all had to just wait a few little bit, and then he could have turned without the pedicabs or me being there. But he just drove right in front of the pedicabs. And then the pedicabs were trying to maneuver around him, and where he turned around, there was debris on the far side of the road, and he could have rolled up the road 20 feet and made his turn and not had debris in his way, but no, they just turned. And then, of course, he had to back up. And, of course, the pedicabs are trying to maneuver back and forth around this stupid idiot. And I just luckily was able to just slow down and let it all play out. But I constantly see these sort of kamikaze moves into something, and then something changes, and somehow, so far I haven't seen a wreck right in front of me, but it's coming. I have seen somebody pull it driving past Robinson's. The guy was trying to turn into Robinson's Mall, making a right turn into Robinson's, coming from the south, and a motorcycle tried to pass him on the right. And where Robinson's entrance is, the concrete does this little curve for water to keep water from running down there. And the bike, when it tried to maneuver, I don't know whether it caught the front end of the truck or whatever, but all I just heard was kabash, and I looked up and the dude's sliding down the road and the bike's on the ground. Wearing flip-flops, no helmet. Dirt, I think it was even a dirt bike. I don't know, I didn't really look at the bike much. But he just picked it up, jumped on his bike, and off he went. Probably had no license, probably had no registration, didn't want to get involved with the wrong guy or police. So, because you're supposed to wear some kind of proper shoes and how do you use that on a motorcycle? Yeah, I don't have a dash cam because I have a trike. Somebody just steal it out of the damn trike, so I can't really mount one anywhere. Nor do I have the money to buy one. And the only time I got something when I got the camera on, but I can't leave the camera on all the time. I wish I could. But you're going back to you're required when you're riding the bikes to wear proper shoes and a helmet. They have a bunch of different rules, like pedicab drivers are required to wear pants, not shorts. I don't know exactly why they got bothered with that, but that's what they do. And I have seen just the other day driving into town, and they had a pullover when they had pulled a guy over on his bike, and they tend to pull over the bikes more than they do the cars and trikes. And you could tell from the conversation, I couldn't hear it what he was saying, but he's motioning like, "Oh, I only have to go around the corner. Can't you let me slide?" Don't know how that played out. I just kept going. But I think out of all the things I've had to deal with here, driving is mountain landlords has been the most stressful. Oh, message retracted. Ooh. Oh, well, that's monsoon range here. I'm not sure where you're at. Where I'm at, we've had rain on and off. It was raining heavy last night. It's pulling rain in from to the typhoon, but the typhoon's well north of us here. But it's been some heavy rains. That's probably why the tile fell off the house. Wondering how many more are going to fall off. Everybody left. Oh, somebody has to come back. Although I don't know how accurate some of that stuff is. Oh, gone again. I know with subs, it doesn't seem to register correctly because I know when I was at 499, I got a sub, and then another sub, and then another sub. It just keeps up saying 499. So I don't know how accurate some of that stuff is. Oh, well, that's as many Q&As as I can put out here, I guess, and nobody's watching. I'd like to say that I'll maybe try to remember to do this once a month, at least, if not more often. Leaning towards doing it every Friday or Saturday mornings, morning here, evening there. But even though life is less stressful here, sometimes remembering to get something done gets forgotten because you don't have to think about things as much. Yeah, right, right, honey. Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, you bet you probably like to look at her than me, huh? I'd rather look at her than me. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's, oh shit. Oops, sorry about that. Just had somebody comment on my Facebook. Should have looked at my other phone, I guess. Cooked up some cornbread last night. Ran across a guy there at Ground Zero yesterday who told me about a cornbread pizza recipe, which I'm waiting to hear. Like now you do cornbread pizza, you must use a lot of wheat flour in the cornbread, which really makes it wheat, not cornbread. But made a loaf of cornbread last night. I ordered a cast iron bread pan from Amazon, and we made a nice loaf of cornbread last night. Helen made it. She's learning how to make cornbread. I've showed her a little bit, but she's learning. I wasn't all that good at it anyway. I used to get the box mixes, well, she's a good cook. She'll figure it out as she goes. And the oven we're using is not exactly. It's a Coleman Camp oven sitting on top of a burner, and it works, but it's not a proper oven. It's hard to set the temperature right. But it is a bake. She can bake in it. Better than nothing, which we don't have an oven. An oven's like, cheap oven here is $13,000, I think. And we just don't have the money. I don't have the spare money to buy an oven right now. So I bought her that because that was $50. Where 13,000 is like, what is that? 10,000 is $200. I just don't have the extra money. So I was able to get her that. Amazon, if you buy enough certain items, will ship. If it's if you combine it with orders that come up to $49, as long as they're items that they list as the eligible items under the $49 rule. Once you hit $49, all your shipping's free for all of it. Now that is handy to know. But they all have to be items listed under the $49 rule. Anyhow, oh, hello again, whoever. About ready to give up. There's not enough people watching my channel to get business here, I guess. Hoping for more questions. Honey would answer your questions, but she'd rather sleep. Lost signal there for a minute. Yeah, I was giving her a mohawk on her haircut, but it turned into long hair for a girl, for a female. I used to give my one dog, my male dog, a goatee and a mohawk when I cut his hair. And she's about due again. Not quite yet. I found if I cut it when it's no more than a quarter of an inch, it's easy to cut. The longer I let it grow, the harder it is to cut, although the easier it is to find the long hairs when you're cutting, when you miss them. And her skin is real floppy, so that makes it, I have to really pull quite a bit to stretch it out good to cut it right. If she'd have been a male, I'd have called her Churchill, because she got this little black spot right here, like she's chewing on a cigar. Yeah. It would have been Winston. Been looking around for another place. Haven't found one yet. May have found something, but it's primitive. This landlord here is just, they'll blame you for everything. They're like, oh, you did this or you did that. It didn't break on its own. You broke it. Things like that. In fact, I've talked to Jenny about doing a video together about landlord-tenant problems and what to watch for. And here's one, simple one. I got permission to run my generator here when I came in. No problem. Use the generator, not an issue. Guess what? Been a big issue. Spent 6,000 pesos to put in some wiring so that I could run the whole apartment off of the generator. Location of the generator was already set in negotiation, but not written in the lease. And got nothing but cries from the next door neighbor who doesn't like the noise. Who's from Watertown, New York, and thinks he's in America. There was some complaints about fumes. We dealt with that. And yet he still tried to call well, he did call the barangay on me twice. One time, because from fumes, okay. I didn't realize the fumes were, I thought I had dealt with them. It didn't work out. So I relocated the generator to a safe location. He still called. And get this. When I fired the generator up, unbeknownst to myself, the power had just come back on. And I didn't know it because I had already flipped the switch, switching to the generator, then went out and started the generator. And because of that, I didn't even know the power. When I walked back through the house to get to where the generator was, power was off because I had turned the switch to generator and the generator wasn't running. I start up the generator, lights are all on, air running, everything's good. I'm keeping an eye on the wind. I got telltales out there to see which way the wind's blowing. I can see from inside. Everything's good. It's blowing away from his apartment. About an hour and a half in, I get a knock on the door from the end apartment who thought I actually had turned on the power for the whole apartment through the generator and realized I didn't know the power was on, so he came down and let me know. Now, the middle between the two of us is this idiot from Watertown, Mark something or other. Very obnoxious prick. He screams at his girlfriend all the damn time. At any rate, he's gone out. This was before the neighbor told me that the power was on. Videotapes my generator sitting in the driveway. takes pictures of it running in the driveway, sends all this stuff to Belgium, and basically wakes up the woman that runs this place in the middle of the friggin' night, saying, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. Okay. And then calls the barangay. By the time the barangay showed up, the power was off because other neighbor had told me it was on. Now, he could have easily just walked over here and told me the power was on, and I would have shut it the hell off. But no, he had to turn it into a Shakespearean drama, which has caused me more trouble with this stupid landlord, because they're believing his bullshit. My dog had pooped a couple spots out in the grass. I hadn't got a chance to pick it up because she had done it in the middle of the night where I couldn't see it. He's telling me, oh, it's no big deal, and turning around telling her, oh, his dog is pooping all over the place. He's playing her. Well, what sucks, he's got enough money to throw money around. I don't. One of these assholes that is going to do well here simply he's got a ton of money. I'm going to do well because I won't let it be me. No matter what it throws at me. If I got to live primitive, so be it. I've lived in 20-foot travel trailers for 4 years. I can handle living in a Filipino hut. All it takes is some window screening and an air conditioner. Maybe some plastic to seal up windows so the air doesn't go out. I'll make it work. We just found this house. Oh, I wish I could buy the property, but I can't because the property is too big. It's about square footage or square meters, and it's big. But it's got a decent house on it that was left go feral. But it's still being used by some Filipinos that are actually, one guy was a security guard. I seen a guy who was getting dressed with his shotgun heading off to work. And we walked through it. It needs a bunch of repairs, but it could be fixed. But it doesn't have a water tank. It doesn't have, there's no toilet seat on the toilet, but it did have a proper toilet. It probably doesn't work right. It did have a CR, an actually decent sized CR, but messy, dirty. Need to be bleached like a son of a bitch. And one of the things, they tend not to clean their bathrooms here enough that they get dark colored. The concrete darkens. They mostly not painted or tiled. In a Philippine bathroom, it'll just be concrete, and of course concrete, it's not sealed, and it doesn't dirt impermeates concrete. But if I can make a proper deal on the place, I might take it, but that's not likely because the price is the price. Oh, I don't care if you'll spend money fixing up my house. Price is the price. Of course, you fix the house up and the price goes up. So we'll see. I asked Jenny if she could maybe help me negotiate with the guy, but she hasn't got back to me on that one yet. Somebody requested I set up a PayPal because they wanted to send me money for the wedding. Well, I haven't done that yet because I'm an old fart, and getting around to doing that sort of thing sometimes takes some time. I looked into it a little last night, but I was tired, so I didn't try to set it up. All I know is I did set up a PayPal many years ago. It's non-functional. Don't have any information on how to get back into it. And there's no money in it anyway. And that was for something else entirely. But, I wonder if I do a GoFundMe. If I can do that. I don't know. I don't really like begging for money, but if somebody wants to send me something, I got no issue with that. I certainly could use it. I'm right on the edge of the amount of money I have to work with here. I was hoping YouTube would pick up a little quicker, that maybe I'd be starting to make 50 or 100 bucks a month off, but still not even enough subs. Need 1,000 subs just to start. 1,000 subs and the watch hours. I think I have the watch hours, I just don't have the subs. There's a few other guys here that have a little bit more money to spend on doing the videos. And definitely, I've met Jules. He's got a definite nice, kept a nice beard, mustache going on, and southern drawl, and he has more money to fiddle with. He's building houses and all this. He has a lot more knowledge about the Philippines than me, and his channel's growing a lot faster. He was under my subscriptions when I met him. It was before he went on Mark's channel, and he'll do well with his YouTube, that's for sure. How well I'll do, I don't know. I've got some ideas on some interesting videos that I'm hoping to do. I don't want to say what it is. I don't want somebody snitching the idea. Got a local that's going to take me places, for one thing. And I think he's the one that showed me this house. House is almost like looks almost like an expat house, but left to go back to nature a bit, or left to go Filipino a bit, I should say. I mean, it even has a little house for maid next to the house, but primitive, borderline primitive. It's like the second floor had a wood floor, and the floor's soft. It's all dipping. Needed just another layer of plywood thrown on it, or the plywood ripped up and a fresh layer put down. I don't know which, but plywood's no cheaper here than it was in America, so that'll add up quick. The only way I could take the place if they gave it to me cheap enough so I could afford to put the floor and a water tank in right away. And screens on the windows. It's got louvered windows, but with no screens. And the whole place really needs to be cleaned really bad. And Helen's not up for cleaning right now. We got the baby coming. She's not in shape to be scrubbing windows and shit. And I'm too old for that shit. Some of the places it's tight to get in. Trisha's too young to send her off cleaning things. She won't even do it right. But she's just 5. And then Helen's sister is pregnant too, and her brothers are busy, so they only get work from them maybe once a week, if that. And you can get other people. You can hire people here. It's not too hard. It's a matter of finding them and having them actually show up. Because most of the time, the ones that are working, they're only available on a Sunday. Some of the ones that aren't working, they're not worth hiring. Because either they won't show the hell up or they won't do much work. I don't know. I haven't been able to find many workers, but I haven't looked that hard for any, except for doing some yard work that I ended up doing myself. Worked on the driveway out here to make it more passable. I paid her one brother to come over and hump some wheelbarrows for a little bit. Anyway, almost nobody's coming in, so we're just going to shut it down. Have a good one, everybody.